Expo today, and we're going up the chairlift up to Crackenback, and we're going to walk up Mount Kosciuszko. We're at the highest point in Australia, the top of Mount Kosciuszko. 6 kilometres up, and it's nearly killed us. Holly was first, but we got there, and now we've got 6 kilometres back again.
And we've got to do it in 1.5 hours or we miss the final chairlift.
This is the high country in Victoria where all the cattlemen used to run all their cattle in behind the hut which they used to get in if they needed refuge from the weather. Apparently it's pretty bitterly cold in here in winter because, as you can imagine, we're 1,300 metres up, 1,500 metres up, and we're above the snow line. Elephant fish, which apparently the ugliest looking fish I've ever seen in my life, but they're also very, very good eating. Also caught down there flathead and whiting, and we've been catching a lot of snapper just off the coast as well.
South Australia now at Mount Gambier, and Mount Gambier is famous for its blue pool, or blue lake it's called.
At a place called Streaky Bay, and this is a shingleback lizard that was waddling across the road. We got him before he turned into tyre tracks. We've been doing again some fishing down here and some schooling. It's a lovely spot. Not a lot of trees, but a beautiful bay, and we're just on our way out now to see the sea lion colony.
Going along the Nullarbor at the moment. It's an overcast day and it's actually quite cool, so it's not quite what we expected. We're about 50 kilometres from the Western Australian border, still in South Australia, and we've been going since 6 o'clock this morning, so we're all feeling a bit tired, especially the person who's holding the camera. But we're going to camp along here tonight, probably in about 50 kilometres time, and stay on one of these magnificent cliff tops for the night.
Barry. There's a gorge further up, about 6 kilometres upriver, and the mouth is maybe about 1 kilometre down. It's a pretty major area for crayfish and longline fishing for sharks, and as you can see, it's not bad fishing for us amateurs as well. The reef, or there's a reef just outside the mouth of the river, it's fairly good on a good day, and today was no exception. I caught a shark which must have been about 13 foot, got it to the boat, but there's no way in the world I'm going to be able to get it in on a 10-foot boat today. Yesterday was pretty good, but as you can see, a little bit better today. Not exactly sure what he is, but I'll go get him identified in a minute, and I'm getting a broken arm. Telegraph Pools, which is a free camp about 40-50 kilometres out of Derby. We dropped in here just for a night or two and we've now been here 5 nights. The first day we were here, I didn't really think there were any barramundi in here, but we dropped a line in and I caught a monster. It must have been over 1 metre long, but didn't catch him because I didn't have a net on board and it broke the line as I was getting him in. On the way back to get the net, I caught another barramundi about 700 mil. Again, broke the line before I could get him on net. So we've been here a few extra days under Fiona's sufferance to try and catch a barra. and this is the one I just caught this morning. He's only just legal, and there are big monsters out there. I think it might be here a bit longer.
And we're with our friends Gary and Joy.
K's up from the Gibb River Road. We've come in from Kununurra and left the caravan there. Kalumbaroo has two camping sites, one's Honeymoon Bay, one's McGowan's Island. We're at Honeymoon Bay. We came up here specifically to get Spanish mackerel, which we did. I'm not sure what this one weighs. I've got another one in the boat there.
at Yellow Waters and we're going out very, very early to see some crocodiles.
Corinda, Yellow Waters, and I've been fishing for barramundi for a couple of days, and it's been a sad story because I've been catching them and losing them and never getting them in the boat. Got a couple of small ones in, maybe half a dozen or so. Got a nice size 55 centimetre at Alligator River, and this one is 70 centimetres, so we're fairly happy. But as you can see, the flies are fairly atrocious here as well. A lot of crocodiles in the river, but a hell of a lot of freshwater barramundi, and once I've gutted this one, I'm going to go out and try again.
Today. It's very hot, it's flies. We couldn't go to Uluru because it's closed. Anyway, probably too windy.